Yeah.
Oh,
It was I had the wire hooked in a wrong. Just don't worry about it. It's boomer problems.
I would know. I heard you. I was looking over the sleeper ad that I'm gonna read live, so I'm just making sure I got it right.
Dude, you know what? My sleeper team is prescient to what the Warriors need because they're a little younger, a little more athletic.
Yes. That's what they need. That's what they have. Actually, they just need to play them more.
You know,
Save
we'll
for the
talk.
show.
We'll talk about it on the pod, but everyone's gonna be like, the Warriors are old. I don't think Andrew Wiggins is fucking old. I don't think that's his issue. So anyway, different story. We ready to get going? We ready?
Give me.
Yeah,
I want to get one thing ready. Give me 2 seconds. Here.
Go ahead. Look in the mirror. Your hair looks good. Don't worry.
I'm looking at tomorrow's schedule so I can do this sleeper ad lib. You know what I'm saying? So okay,
Yeah.
ready to go. Okay.
By the way, how fun was that draft? The mobile
Dude, that
app,
was
pretty nice. Pretty nice.
I use it for fantasy football for something
Oh,
else. It's incredible.
Oh,
It's
so
incredible.
you're not a rookie like me. That was the first time I've drafted. That way, this is an authentic endorsement. I'm considering moving all my fantasy leagues over to Sleeper because that was a great experience. I'm pretty hyped on this. I'm playing Tyler this week. Tyler of Blue Wire fame, our guy. You guys don't know about Tyler. He hooks us up all the time. Need to crush him in general, but
In general.
welcome to Light Years, presented by Sleeper
Yes, sir.
Fantasy. Warriors opener, disappointing. Lose 108-104. I don't know where your head's at, Andy. I'm kind of like a range of emotions right now. I can give you some positives. I can give you some negatives, but end of the day, they should have won this game. And they're starting the season 0-1. And I don't know, man. That sucks. There's no other way around it. This team, after last year, I was hoping they'd get off to a hot start, positive vibes, that sort of thing. And, one game's just one game, but it wasn't what I was hoping for start-wise.
One game is just one game, except for when that one game looks exactly the same as the games that we watched last season. Exactly the same. To a T. To a T. You can change who you want to change. You can say people are going to make a leap. You can say X, Y, and Z. Sam, they look like the same team. They can't rebound the ball. They are down 2, but it always feels like they're down 10. Very bad turnovers. Ton of bad shots that have no chance. Way too many threes. And just generally a team that just didn't play with much energy outside of 12 minutes, outside of the third quarter, where they put themselves back in the game. I think a lot of people out there are going to say that the Warriors, they shot better, they could have won, right? If they had played a little bit harder, they could have won. I take the opposite approach, Sam. I don't think they've done anything better than they have last offseason.
Yeah.
Really bad first game.
On the one hand, I can point to Chris Paul. He's an adult. He's a pro. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Even if he's old, even if he's on the verge of being washed, like there's an energy that comes to the player of that caliber, that experience that helps your team. It's a little bit of a punch in the arm, right? On the other hand, he's 38 years old. It's not like they acquired a 27-year-old in their prime. So he can only do so much. So a lot of the things you're pointing out are just accurate. I just want to make a quick call up, by the way. If you're joining us live, create a playback account. Then you can talk in the chat and you can actually come on stage at the end of the show. Goon live call-in segment. It's going to happen. So make sure you are logged into a playback account if you want to participate in that. But yeah, I mean, let's start there. Like, because Chris Paul is the biggest difference between last year and this year. I felt like he did provide some positive punch to this team, even though he didn't individually play a great game. He didn't shoot the ball well at all. He missed a bunch of I mean, if he can't make those shots, he's not NBA.
Yeah, right.
But like, I expect him to hit those on a normal night. But in general, 9 assists, 1 turnover, 6 rebounds, positive plus minus.
He turned the game around. I mean, he was very good after I think looking pretty slow. The grifting fouls were awesome. Did you see that? You and I weren't at the game tonight, but did you see that the CP3 chants were going up there? My texts were going insane about Chris Paul. So I actually didn't think he wasn't the problem. Now, is the larger, I think, how the roster is built? Oh, do we have the applause? Do we have it?
Here. Oh. It's Chris Paul.
When we asked Frank Vogel about Booker, he said his IQ has really impressed his head coach. But
CP3
really benefited from Chris Paul being his teammate, watching him, observing him.
So I think though, I think the problem though is that he played 34 minutes tonight.
Yeah,
that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. And if the Warriors are going to play him 34 minutes every night, what's going to change about this team? That's the problem.
I would hope that's not part of the coaching staff's plan. Like just personally speaking, I would hope that's not the plan that they're going with. We got to lead it on Chris Paul. Like in general, I see the vision of him and Steph staggered, having a high level point guard at all times.
Yep.
Chris didn't play particularly well, but he played better than Steph, who played. I don't know. Steph. Are we surprised that Steph was too deferential and didn't really find his spot in the game? And to me, it felt like an awful game. Then I look at the box score, I'm like, he still scored 27 points.
I don't really know what he was doing. I don't really know what he was doing, though.
You know what I mean? Like, Steph's one of the, I don't know, 10 best players of all time. He walks into 25 points. Like it's not even a thing. In general, I thought Steph was terrible tonight as well. But I see the vision of what the Chris Paul, Steph Curry combination can be. And I don't mean together. I mean just like spread throughout a course of a game. Most teams aren't equipped to handle a second unit with Chris Paul, right?
It is. That's what makes this team, I think, dangerous. If Chris Paul is the one that comes off the bench, and this game was cooked when they were starting those two guys together. Now you can argue maybe they didn't have a choice, but it's a pairing that is, it's a failure every single time. You can't rebound and you can't defend. Now, if you told me it was prime Chris Paul, I'm with you. Now, if you had told me that, prime Clay, I'm with you. Hell, if you had told me that Andrew Wiggins wanted to play basketball, which he fucking still doesn't, then maybe that lineup works. Maybe. But you're telling me you're putting Steph and Chris Paul together, and then you're putting all the other defenders on the team right now that can't defend, including Clay and Wiggins. Come on. What are we doing? Like, it's embarrassing is what it is.
Let's get to the real issue. We're burying the lead. We tend to do that. We appreciate everyone of you listen to us. Wiggins was trash tonight. Clay competed, but he has athletic limitations in general. Like there's just no other around it. Kuminga got into foul trouble early in the game. He got better into it. But like the reality of this roster is they have 3 old guards. They shouldn't be playing them together very often. Like you should not see lineups of Steph, Clay, and Chris Paul together, right? Even if Clay is going to give you 7 rebounds, it's just slow. I know he's only 33, but he's 2 surgically repaired legs. He's closer to
36 minutes also, Sam.
Yeah,
36 minutes.
But do you agree with me? Like, even though he's a little younger than Chris Paul and Steph Curry, he's like kind of in their age range when you consider injuries, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
And so, like we saw it this game when they staggered the lineup, when they got GP2 out there, when they got Kuminga out there, when they got Moses Moody, who continues to just play amazing basketball and not get enough minutes. When they got those guys out there, and it felt more like 1 to 2 old guys plus 3 to 4 young guys, that worked really well. And when they played 3 plus old slow guys, it didn't work well. And I feel like that's the takeaway from this game, which is they're not good enough and not athletic enough to like feel it out. Like you have to be very conscious of your lineup combinations.
Yep.
This is the type of roster you have.
Yep. I agree. Corey Joseph tonight, and let's just quickly, and I want to talk about Steve Kerr, not Corey Joseph. So we go into this saying that one of the things Steve Kerr has to do this season is he has to take a very proactive approach, like you're saying. Hey, if and I actually thought he did at the end of the game, right? Because tonight he benched Andrew Wiggins and he closes with Kuminga, which was the right choice. He plays Corey Joseph for 4 minutes and loses the game in those 4 minutes. That's it. That's the game. You're 0-1. That's all. Now, you can argue that you got to give Corey Joseph a chance. He's a veteran, right? All that stuff. He protects the ball, blah, blah, blah. He should not be playing. You should not have a fourth guard out there that can't defend, can't shoot, can't get to the rim. There's really nothing he does well on the basketball court outside of maybe not turning the ball over. So you lose the game in those 4 minutes because he's minus 12.
Ball handler.
Right, that's pretty much it. Sure, fine. You can get anyone that can. Podziemski can play that role, honestly. But I think when you go into these types of games, and I'm agreeing with you, you can't just sit back and say tonight Clay's playing 36. Tonight Clay was outplayed by Moses Moody for a large stretch of those minutes. Tonight Andrew Wiggins, I think Andrew Wiggins is worse. Andrew Wiggins played 27 minutes, probably should have played 20. Now, Kuminga had 5 fouls. He had 3 within like 4 minutes, which wasn't great. But you can't tell me that he should have played those minutes, right? So I think that's where the Warriors are going to be this season, where, dude, they're just going to have to play some of these guys more. It's not acceptable for some of these older guys to play that many minutes. Sorry, go.
Let's put Wiggins aside real quick. I agree with you. This is not a roster where you can ride your like these are, like I got Steph, I got Clay, I got Iguodala, I got like my older core that I trust. This has to be a proactive like offense defense sub roster. And to your point, they lost this game in the second quarter when the Suns went on a huge run and Steve was just sitting there. I think it was really that simple. Like, they could have won this game if they were a little more proactive the entire way through, but they didn't. And maybe they learn from it. Maybe they move on from it really quick. But this is going to be the type of team where, it's unfair to compare everyone to Spoelstra because he's considered the best coach in the league. And I think he is the best coach in the league. But it's like you need to kind of coach this like a playoff team, be a little more active on the game-to-game basis in general. And you know what? It's just one game. We'll see where they go from here. But that was kind of my takeaway from it. Now, the one player I think who doesn't have an excuse in this entire thing is Andrew Wiggins. I don't really know what to make. I don't know what to make. Like, we know that Steph, Chris Paul, and Klay Thompson are older. And we know that Moody and Kuminga are very young, and we're kind of hoping that 21 is more like 23, 24, right? Wiggins 28 years old. He's in the middle of his prime. Opening day, off of a season he missed, where he told everyone, like, oh, I wasn't around. Like, he's kind of like apologetic for his tone for last year. And he comes out with no energy in this entire game. Missing layups, no rebounds, just no energy. I don't know what else to say. Like, he's going to find himself in trade rumors if he doesn't figure that out pretty quickly, honestly. And I don't really think it's going to get there, but it's just kind of like, you're one of the dudes who's between the age of 27 and 30 who should be no maintenance. Like, you should have it figured out. You're not 21 and you're not 36. And weirdly, there's not a lot of guys on the Warriors roster that fit that description, but like, come on, man.
So Marcus Thompson came on the show 2 days ago and said, if there's one guy that they need to maybe take a leap and take the minutes from, it's Kuminga. Get minutes over Andrew Wiggins in crunch time. And like a goddamn prophet, I wish we had MT on. That's exactly what happened tonight. So Jonathan Kuminga tonight in 20 minutes plus 4. Less important to me. That's 0 steals, 1 block, and got to line 3 times, shot 4 for 12 from the field, didn't make a single three. The threes that he shot were disgusting. I had no idea why you're shooting above the break threes from 30 feet away. And the biggest part of this is the lack of energy, which is, again, what we associate Kuminga with, unfortunately. Now, maybe it's unfair, but a lot of last season was Kuminga's not playing with energy. They're going to take him out. And I have no idea what Wiggins was doing tonight. Just doing cardio. And going up against Kevin Durant. By the way, can I say something about Kevin Durant? By the way,
yeah, go for it.
KD might be. He don't look great.
Relax. Friend of the show.
He don't look great. He does not look great. And Wiggins looked like he was scared against him. So I agree with you on it's embarrassing. He took a season off. Hell, I mean, like, what were you doing all off season? And we have heard nothing about Wiggins in the preseason. And this team looked bad tonight, but I'm with you. Andrew Wiggins might have been the worst of everyone, and he was
easily the most disappointing.
Yeah.
He may bounce back Friday against Sacramento, and you and I are going to laugh about it in a week, being like we concern trolled. It was too much. But opening night, I was expecting him to come out with a little more energy. I also thought he looked decent in the last couple of preseason games. So I thought that might, translate over, but no. But let's talk Kuminga real quick. To your point, it did feel like a role reversal because Kuminga had a bad first half. He got into foul trouble. I was a little frustrated watching it. I was just like, really? You had such a positive preseason, you get 3 fouls in the first half. But it showed me something that he put it behind him and he played the second half pretty well. And, they didn't win the game, but I thought he actually had an impact on the stretch, knocking a couple rebounds out. He was the one who swatted the ball out to Steph, who hit that shot, thinking they were going to win the game. But of course they couldn't get a defensive stop. So, not perfect, but there was elements of Kuminga doing the things that we want him to do, which is just like, you're the best athlete on the floor.
Oh,
no one's expecting you to be, Chris Paul, smartest guy on the floor, but like, use your athleticism to your advantage, man. And he did that.
He's ready to go, baby. I am so locked in on Kuminga. Learned about him extending some of the preseason play into the regular season, because some of the preseason play is just not how the Warriors are going to play. But I think the Warriors are giving him room to say, if you're going to have a shot there from 15 feet and in, go ahead and make a move and go, right? Which is not something the Warriors have ever really had in the Steph Curry era. So I think he's locked in. Take out those fluky fouls. I don't think that's going to happen every game. I think he's going to be able to play. If not for those fouls, he probably plays 30 minutes tonight. So I think that's really cool. Moses Moody's another guy. He played 18 minutes tonight and probably could have played 25. Like we talked about this on the last show. How is Moody going to get run? Take away some Clay minutes, man. Clay played 36 and he looked cooked. He did an okay job defensively on KD, but he just doesn't need to be playing 36. He's biking across the Bay Water to get to the game. I don't know. Anybody that's in their 30s knows you don't work out before a workout, man. What are we doing?
You and both know he didn't really do that. Come on. But we're
my buddy texted me that. Shout out D-Mark, and I was dying laughing. But they need to find a way to get young.
Yeah, up here real quick.
About to yak to practice. Oh, it's nice. No wind, waters, sun shining. Ain't no complaints.
That's so good.
How far do you? By the way, this is a great picture right here. Just watching them, it's a great view. Far less stressful morning than I had, than you had. Didn't have a toddler waking him up, yelling at him. It's just that's my own problems. Let's get back to the Warriors real quick. Where was I going with that? Let's recenter ourselves.
I just maybe I'll take it back. Maybe I shouldn't loop in Clay with the way Wiggins played, but I just think this team is moving towards more younger, faster approach with some of the guys, and that includes Moses Moody and Kuminga. And I love the GP2 minutes. GP2 couldn't make a shot, but I love the GP2 minutes. And you put Chris Paul or Steph with those guys, I think that's a great lineup. So I think there are good things, Sam, coming out of this game. There are. It's just frustrating to see some of the same mistakes they make over and over again last season come bite them in the ass again. It's just, that's all.
Yeah. I don't want to focus too much on the positive. Like, before we get to the goons, I just want to throw it out there. Let's be honest. 30 looked a little uncomfortable. 30 looked like he was but part of me wonders if we're overthinking this whole thing. If Steph is just Steph and asserts himself and does Steph Curry things, if they don't win this game by 8 points, and you and I are sitting up here just being like, championship row, we're going to fucking Milwaukee, So stuff like that. Like, so I don't know. That's part of it. It is one game. It is opening night. You do put an added weight on it because it's opening night, but like part of me feels like they could have got better out of Steph. It's not just the lack of athleticism and those issues. Like sometimes your dude just has to play better too.
Agree. Devin Booker was the best guy on the court tonight, right? He was the best player on the floor tonight. He looks incredible.
I mean, unlike you, I'd never say that, but
he looked. It's maybe just because I drafted him last night in my draft. So maybe I got Tatum and Book. Those are my MVP candidates this season. So I had to get those guys. But he looked incredible. Made some of the game winning plays. But I agree with you. We'll see what they look like on Friday. Before we get to the goons this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pull it up.
You're saying you got those guys, but I did a fantasy draft with you today.
Yes, sir.
By our sponsor, Sleeper Fantasy. By the way, their app is freaking awesome.
Look at this
guy, Tommy. We got Tyler from Blue Wire. We got Aaron. We got Neil, Kyle. We got all the Light Years regulars in this, and Andy, of course, had to draft Steph 5 picks too early.
Give me Bam, Jaren, Scotty. Just go and set screens for Steph. And then, give me a little extra scoring off the bench with Bane and Maxey. I got a squad, Sam.
Meanwhile, I'm doing what Joe Lacob couldn't do, which was the 2 timelines. I realized after I drafted my team, Bradley Beal is the only player I have on my roster who's over 30, and he turned 30 this year. I'm just one of my 3 oldest players. I got Wembanyama. I got Josh.
You have Andrew Wiggins. How did he do tonight for you?
Well, I did put him in lineup, and I will tell you right now, I will not be picking him in my locked-in league. So we're doing a locked-in league, which, by the way, is the best basketball fantasy format. And you get to pick whose line you want for the entire week. So, for example, if you had Steph going for like 40, you'd be like, all right, I'm going to probably pick this because he probably won't score 40 on Friday, but maybe he will. I'm not sure if I want to pick him. A little bit of mind fuck, right? I can tell you right now, I will not be picking Wiggins' line tonight to be locked in for the week.
Oh, that's so good. All right, we'll get this week's Light Years podcast brought to you by Sleeper. Let's get in. Get your fantasy going, get your picks going, and officially the Light Years promo code is, guess what? Light Years. So if you use the promo code Light Years, you'll get $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See the Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Tomorrow night / tonight, for those that are listening on the podcast, I will be taking Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to hit their over on points, rebounds, assists because they're playing at Madison Square. They are the team that's going to win a championship per Sam Esfandiari. So that's who I will be going on and using in the Sleeper app tomorrow / today. Again, use promo code LIGHTYEARS. You'll get a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Check out Sleeper today. All right.
Promo code Light Years. We're working on making it promo code optionality, but we're not there yet. All right. To the goons. Appreciate everyone who wants to call in. We got a lot of people to get to. Let's start here. RKO. My man. Oh no, we starting with a dud?
Are we cooked?
I mean, the Warriors might be cooked. So, oh, there we go.
All right, let's roll. Let's roll.
RKO, what's up, man? Sir.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What's up? What's up, man?
Yeah, hey, first off, it's just glad to start the season off with the loss, but that's cool. I like Chris Paul. I like Chris Paul this game. I liked how he was controlling the game and whatnot, but the major concerns with this team for me is still that we're a little too small. We are too small. Yeah, it's really just that we're too small. I mean, we couldn't grab any rebounds. We had, I don't know how many offensive rebounds that the Suns had, but offensive rebounding and I would say just defense really is our biggest issues. I think if we're able to settle those issues, then there's not really much that this team can't do. But other than that, and Clay, I really do hope Clay is able to get his mind right, specifically when it comes to shot selection. But I don't know if we can really expect that from Clay because he's been taking those shots all his life, really. So, but I like Moody though this game. He was real aggressive. He was getting to it. Hope he gets more minutes. Yeah, that's pretty much it though. Just hope the season goes well.
Yeah.
And yeah,
appreciate you, man.
Yep.
I do wonder if the Warriors running a little more pick and roll to take advantage of Nurkic's slowness would help them on the other end. One of the most annoying things about the Warriors is when a dude who can't guard them eats them alive on the glass. Like Nurkic obviously can rebound, but if you put him in high pick and roll, he's a liability, and that's one way to get him off the floor that the Warriors didn't do tonight.
Yeah. I mean,
the chat's like, they're not gonna do that in regular season, Sam.
Yeah. The story is old as time.
Yeah. Otherwise, I agree. This entire season is going to be a question of are they too small? Can they find lineup combinations that aren't?
It's a lot hinged on Draymond, but that's why you signed him to a brand new 4-year extension.
That is true. We leave that one out of it, but they didn't have Brad Beal. Come on, man.
Yeah, no, I know. I get it. I'm with you. And maybe I honestly, I wish Brad Beal played and they took Josh Okogie off the floor, honestly, because Bradley Beal ain't going to be the one crashing the board. I'll tell you that. But again, obviously they take Eric Gordon off the floor, but it's
Eric Gordon who,
oh my goodness.
I love.
What is he, 250 right now?
Yeah, he's not in game shape. He's
played in the summer too. He played in FIBA's, or he played for the Bahamian team, right? So he's been playing, but geez, Louise, he's a big boy.
He's looking like you and me out there.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe more me than you. You're getting too skinny.
Yeah.
It's different. This is a different conversation.
Oh my god.
Let's get right Tashian up.
Oh, that was a freaking slog. That was probably the longest game I've seen in my life.
Welcome to the Chris Paul era, brother.
I ironically like the Chris Paul minutes. The only reason why I am not Andy levels of frustrated is because Draymond was hurt, and eventually we're just going to need Chris Paul to just be bench fodder at this point. But yeah, it was weird. It was really weird to see all the vets on both teams, especially, look hella slow. Side note, Andy's point about why he's so scared about FIBA and the Olympics is probably the reason why I am not afraid of the Suns, by the way. I'll save that take for another time when the Suns get eliminated this year. So that's for another time. But yeah. Katie, whoo, that man looks rough. Whew.
It was so weird because I do feel next to Sam that it was like this last season too, and he's had a ton of injury. He looks like a taller version of Paul George at this point, and I mean that like in a good and bad way because he's super talented. He's got a great handle, but he doesn't get to the rim. Doesn't really draw fouls. Everything's a fade away. Everything's a pull-up mid-range jump shot. And I just don't know. Like, he's still a top. Like, he's just not a top 5 player in the NBA anymore. That's all I'm trying to say. It might not matter because D-Book's amazing now, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
To both to your point, we get frustrated with Clay, but torn Achilles is a serious injury. Yeah. Mid-30s.
Torn Achilles and was clamping Katie, by the way. So that's why I'm not as mad as compared to Wiggins before. So if I need to slander Wiggins again, by all means, I am willing to slander that man to becoming good again.
I'm just saying KD and Clay, they came back from the injury in their mid-30s. They're going to be able to shoot the ball for eternity. Like, at no point in their lives will they not be able to shoot the ball. But, like, are we shocked that post-Achilles injuries, they're a little less dynamic than we thought? Like maybe they are just kind of guys who can shoot, but, like, the other aspects of their game aren't necessarily what they used to be.
Because everyone's so happy. It's like, oh, they're back, right? Like, they're back. Modern medicine is amazing, but it just... They're older, and the Achilles takes away a lot of it. Yeah, right.
Reality, yeah.
That's what it is.
But, yeah, last thought is that we're going to have the best bench in the league. Just cut down Clay's minutes to a little bit under 30 minutes a game with a combination of Joku and Moody, and everything should be fine as long as CP3 gets benched. Yeah. And never play Kojo again, please, for the love of God. We don't need that again. I don't need that again.
Corey Joseph is the new...
Wanamaker.
Brett Wanamaker.
Nico
Oubre.
I feel bad for him. I know. I'm dealing with hyenas here who want blood, but bro, we're not even in November. Let him.
It's the first game. It's the first game.
Let him string together 5 bad games before we go here. But anyway, but I'm also not gonna get out on a limb for him because I'm not a believer just yet either. So. Catch on. Appreciate you, brother. All right, we gotta be hide here.
He's not played 10 minutes for the Warriors and he's getting crushed.
I mean, those were horrendous first impression minutes. But anyway.
Why does he play with his shoulder hunched over? It's so funny. You're muted, Behind, I believe. So might want to unmute yourself. And yeah, let's go, brother.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, is this Paratosh?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Paratosh.
Yes,
okay.
That's my last name.
Right,
yeah.
I knew that. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, long time. I think I called in last time when we got eliminated, so back to the season. So, I liked a few things, mainly Chris Paul in the second half. And when Steph got into foul trouble, I think that gave us a preview to how Chris Paul will look with the second unit or like handling the ball. So that was really nice to see. I had, and also Kuminga. I want to give a special shout out to Kuminga on his defense of Booker. I remember that one double team that he randomly decided to throw on Booker, and that ended up with Booker, I think, losing the ball or turning it over because of a travel. So Kuminga was really great on defense. My one question is about Clay, though. We all know Clay is not the same, and Sam, I like the way you put it that he's not as dynamic as he was before, both Clay and KD. But do you think Clay and the coaching staff is willing to accept that? Because if not, like we did see even when last season he was cooking, it wasn't the same dynamic Clay where he could get like 30 points in a quarter. Obviously, we're not going to see that. So, but then like force feeding the ball to Clay, like especially drawing up plays only for Clay instead of him being just a 3-and-D guy. Like he should be said, we can give some of his minutes to Modi, and not just the minutes, but even when he's playing, like he shouldn't be as integral or as at the forefront of the offense that like he used to be before. Do you think coaching staff and Clay are willing to accept that? And I think if they do, and if Clay takes that role, and if Clay buys into that role, we are a really difficult team to beat. But if not, then I can see some issues cropping, especially since Clay's in his contract here.
That's a good question. You know what, Parata, I want to.
I can take a stab.
I feel more optimistic about Clay's ability to accept that sort of thing. I think there's a lot of assumptions that Clay won't accept it. Like, obviously, he doesn't want to take a smaller role. And we can walk through the psychology of it. Like, why would anyone want to? No one wants to. No one's sitting here actively saying, you know what? I want a demotion, right? Like, no one wants that. But when have you ever seen Clay actually reject someone telling him his role's changing? He's always been a team guy. Just because he doesn't want it doesn't mean that he's going to reject it when it happens. And to me, I think it's more about the coaching staff being like, it's time to kind of adjust our offense and move it more towards, I don't know, Kuminga or someone else.
I'm not optimistic because the contract isn't there, man. That's why I say they gotta sign him. And again, the season started already, so I guess they could do it anytime. But what, he's gonna take a back seat when the contract extension is on the line? Good luck. That's all I got. And money's money, man. Money's money. It always.
That's fair.
It's broken up many friendships. Not us though. Not us, but it's broken up many, and it's not good.
Well, that's because you don't know how much I take off the side.
Just skimming off the top.
What you don't know? No.
Oh my God. Even Decent Marrow broke up. You know, it's just Sam and Andy now, man. That's all the people's got. It's you and I, man. We can't let them down.
It's problematic. Problematic.
All right, who do we got next?
All right, Ishan coming up.
All right.
Hey guys.
All right.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, it's been a long time.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while. So, I've been really, really excited about this season. Watched all the preseason games, been hyping myself up. And to be honest, like I'm seeing a lot of optimism on the timeline and like and from y'all as well. But like, I don't know, like I know it's one game, you shouldn't overreact, but like I'm feeling a little discouraged about what I saw tonight. I don't know. I just wanted to ask you guys, like, I kind of just like didn't feel Warriors basketball today. Like something was missing. It just felt really I just kind of felt a little old today. Like they just weren't able to do some of the things that I thought they were going to be able to do. Like, guard, couldn't do it. Layup,
hit shots, period. Yeah.
Hit shots, layups, nothing. Like it's one of those games maybe you throw away. I don't know, but like I just didn't feel an identity today. And obviously Steph doing dumb shit like getting into foul trouble didn't help. But man, it's like it just felt like the same story to me where it was like, oh, can't get out rebounded, get no rim protection, get bodied under the rim, and Clay missing shots, Wiggins missing shots, rely on Steph to bail us out. It just kind of felt like the same problems as last year. So I don't know. I just wanted to get your thoughts on like maybe if I'm being over dramatic or not, but yeah.
I mean, if I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought all those same things. I'm not like, it's possible I'm in the trying, denial phase of that, like trying to say that that's not the thing, but like that was what I thought when I watched the game in general. And I can rationally be like, let's watch them for 10 games, Let's see what it looks like on November 8th before we make that sort of judgment. But you're not wrong in saying those things. I think the number one counter I would make to you, which is me trying my best to not be like emotional or anything, is they're missing Draymond Green.
Yeah. And
if you think he's an impact player, you cannot discount that in terms of how you evaluate the team. Like, he is, in my opinion, the second most impactful player on the team.
Agreed.
And he didn't play tonight. So, until we see this type of performance with a healthy Draymond, I don't think you can actually draw a conclusion to who the team is just yet.
Yeah, and like a little something like I've kind of implemented for myself. So like I was just reflecting, like I was super sad after he lost to the Lakers, and I was like, you know what? In 2022, everyone uses that as the baseline, right? So I was like, okay, 2022 game 1, I knew they were going to win the championship. Like I felt like everybody kind of knew, like that was in the Warriors cult.
Well, don't you feel like that's part of the reason you're so disappointed tonight? Because you're like, you know what? If I see a positive game 1, I'm gonna buy. In 2015, I saw positivity. In 2022, I saw positivity. Obviously, with Kevin Durant, it didn't fucking matter. We knew.
Yeah.
and then and it's like, and you wanted to see that, and they came out, and it's fine, but like kind of shitty most of the way through. So.
Yeah.
Yep. Agree.
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sean. I mean, I think it's so much of the same story that it's so much of the same story that I think I'm gonna keep feeling this way until they prove me otherwise. It is what it is. If the Warriors win on Friday night on the road, and it's I'm gonna assume Draymond plays, and it's a shootout, right? Kind of like the game, the last preseason game.
Sure.
And it's like 128, 124, and let's say the Warriors win. Does that really change how we feel about this team? I don't think so. At least for me right now.
So like, let me unpack that. What you need to see is a stretch of games to make you feel like, and it's not about defense, it's not about offense, it's about wow, it's about a connectedness.
I mean, it might be because they don't look like that right now, right? It really might be that. How many times tonight did we see them actually have the ball and play the Warrior style of basketball that we've seen? Just kind of ping, 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 or defensively get stops. It never once felt like they were going to get a stop tonight. Every stop they got, even if they got it, was an offensive rebound that they give up. So
yeah. I know what you're saying. All right, we get Mikas up here.
Let's go get Mikas on. We're waiting long enough.
This is your call. I'm gonna exit the room and let T talk.
Oh, let's rock and roll. Unmute yourself.
Oh, he's on mute. He's on mute.
Unmute yourself. Oh, he's just got a drink out in public. What a legend. You're still muted. You're still muted.
You're on mute.
No.
Guys.
We're back. You're muted again. I think you're auto muting. Is your like AirPod auto muting or something? You can go. You can just go non-video.
I think he's.
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Well, let's get the video on now too. Fucking A. How we doing, boys?
Good audio quality.
Yeah. Well,
4.5 out of 10.
4.5. Yeah. Okay. Look, here's the thing. I recall 2016. I recall it was opening night in Oracle Arena against the San Antonio Spurs. We just got one of the all-time great players at their position, actually, at that time. And everybody was like, wow, Warriors are going to be great. And you know what? They lost by 29 to the San Antonio Spurs, who, were presumptive, very good Western Conference team, similar to the Phoenix Suns. We had Kevin Durant. We lost. And you know what? We still won the title. And pretty fucking easily, too. I'm feeling the same way about the whole situation. We first game with Chris Paul. Look, guys, we were down Draymond Green, and I know people have, been talking about Clay. Wiggins had a terrible game. Clay had a bad game. I'm really not worried. Look, they were down Beal. If they had Beal, they actually would have lost because Beal's like not a winning player. He's actually like kind of bad at basketball. Like he can score 30 in a loss. Like he can chalk. They have Jordan Poole on their team. His name is Bradley Beal. Like they have They have, Jordan Poole of the Wizards, right? Like, I don't know. I'm not very worried about the Suns. The Suns are not very serious. The defense is going to be terrible. Yusuf Nurkic is never going to do this again. That's not a serious figure, to quote Logan Roy. Like, I'm not worried about that team. The thing that was, and we didn't have Draymond. What I would say is, like, do we expect a repeat performance of this? And do we think that the Klay performance is just because of the contract? Because, obviously the contract is a big deal. I don't know if Sam has sources. I mean, I know it was reported recently that, they were not close at all.
Sources everywhere.
Yeah, I know you better have sources everywhere. I mean, that's why you're running one of the hottest Warriors podcasts in the fucking world. Like, the thing is, I think that was a whole leak from Klay's team personally, coming from my end, my sources. Yeah, right. So I don't know. Have they been talking?
You're a perceptive human. I give you credit for that.
Sure. I mean, hey, that's why people are on the Late Years Discord. I mean, you got to be on. But look, it was a terrible loss. If Kevin Durant, who is objectively, I think, and people have said one of the 5 or 10. Some people have, erroneously claimed him to be the greatest scorer of all time. If Kevin Durant had just got a simple 25 points tonight, I would have made $780 on a $5 bet. But you know what? That's okay, Kevin. I forgive you. Friend of the show, Kevin, I forgive you. I always love you. He looks old. I mean, he looks fucking old. Cheers to Kevin Durant looking a little old. No, I mean, that's my guy.
We're all old, brother.
But
we're
hey, and guys, friends of the show, my Twitter got suspended today because I made a tweet 8 months ago saying that Braun Muse should K*** himself, and I got suspended. So if you guys want to refollow me, MMeekus21, hit me up. I miss all the Warriors community because I only got 25 followers right now, but MMeekus21, it's the new follow. Fucking get back here because we're going to be running this shit all fucking year. I don't know, Warriors are winning 58 games this year. It's going to be fucking great.
58?
58. Wow. Yeah, no, they are. We got
just
the point guard. We got the point guard.
Wow.
Come on. You're down on the point guard.
What's the Vegas line? 48?
Vegas line is 49, I think. 48 and a half.
I was hoping to come in at a comfortable 51.
Smash that over.
Clear the over, but respectably clear it. I'm not trying to show off. I'm not trying to come in here clearing the over at Valentine's Day. Just trying to do.
Are you guys doubting a high IQ team? Stephen Goons with a high IQ team. I mean, are we doubting that?
Brother, Andy and I are both in our mid-30s. I know what that feels like. I think load management's going to happen.
And yes, stick you guys around Steph, he'll still average 30 a game. I know that to be true. I've seen
27 on a bad night tonight, Steph, by the way. Incredible.
That was my favorite part of the game where I was just like, you know what? I think Steph was awful. And I look, it's 27. Not even trying. Meekus, appreciate you as always, brother.
I just refollowed Meekus. I think we lost connection, but I just refollowed Meekus on MMeekus21. So need to see his tweets on the timeline. Appreciate you.
Get the
I need Meekus' energy nights like these. It just makes me feel better as a human being. I can go to sleep feeling better. Oh yes, this guy too, McWalter.
The closer. Bring in the closer.
What's going on?
Closer.
I need you.
Why did I have to watch Corey Joseph tonight? Why? Why? I don't understand. I don't get it. But other than that, punt the second quarter. We had to have an epic third quarter just to get back into this game. Jesus. But hey, it wasn't all bad. I like what I saw from Kuminga, despite the foul trouble early on. He had a nice second half. Also got boards. I really love it.
Let's be honest. 10 is Kuminga scores 40, Steph hits 10 threes.
Mm-hmm.
We're celebrating. We're basically planning a parade route.
Yep, that's 10. All right.
And 0 is everyone gets injured.
Oh, where was this game?
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
This game. Bleh. I mean, there's no Beal, so you can't even judge anything off it based on where we held them to, because everyone will be like, oh, well, they didn't score because they didn't have Bradley Beal. Well, they also played Jessica Kogi a whole bunch, so they would have defended as well. So it's I don't know what to make. Yukos Nurkic isn't hurt. That guy will check in when April comes. He'll be on the IL somewhere. He won't be on your sleeper team, that's for sure, because he'll be cut. Because he won't be playing. It's just like one of those things. Like Nurkic is always hurt. That whole Phoenix team is flawed, and they're not built for the playoffs. They're built to be a regular season team. Congratulations, you've built a better version of the Sacramento Kings. Awesome. Maybe you'll make it to the second round. Good luck on you, Phoenix. And the Warriors, we looked old. I mean, Chris Paul had the most minutes on the night. Like, what the? And this is the problem with having Chris Paul and Steph Curry there, is you have to force Steph Curry to guard someone because Chris Paul can't. And so Curry got in foul trouble.
Can we be honest? Wiggins a little more disappointing than Chris Paul.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Wiggins just disappearing. I mean, he had a couple drives, but for the most part, just not being able to do anything, settling for some fades, blowing layups. He had a ton of contests. They have the hustle stats up on the NBA. He had a whole bunch of contests. There also were a whole bunch of shots hit on him. What can you do? But yeah, I really think that second quarter just doomed us. We were kind of floating around, hanging in there, and it just fell off. And we had to have a Herculean effort led by getting some free throws. Thank you, Chris, for Paul.
Shout out, point guard.
Point guard, and my man Kuminga, who just seems to be a foul drawing machine. We've got 2 foul drawing machines. I think that's going to be a great omen for the rest of the season. Great. But can we hit some shots? We shot like nothing, and we were right there in this game. If you're a Phoenix fan, you shouldn't celebrate this. We played like crap, and we were right there. And if Kuminga hits 2 free throws, we're really right there. So chalk it up. L's happened. It just sucked that it happened at home. Let's smack the Kings. Let's get a win on Friday, and let's hit the road strong. Hope everyone tunes in. Have a blast, and please, Steve, don't play Joseph, please. Play pods. I mean, come on.
Big Walters, appreciate you.
Love. Thank you.
I think we'll end it there. Disappointing opening night. I don't know how else to put it. Yeah. All right.
We'll be back.
Appreciate everyone.